Yo, what up guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at two of my Zindra's early games SoloQ VODs, and I'm really going to be talking about the importance of a solid early lane plan and about the variables that we need to be addressing in these kind of situations. So in this game I'm playing against the LeBlanc Lee Sin and I've got a Xin Zhao on my side. And this game is really hard because the mid jungle 2v2 is really hard to play out from my side. But what do we see? LeBlanc actually has Ignite and I have TP, and I've opted in for these early game runes. So what I want to do in general is I want to pressure this LeBlanc onto a bad reset, and that might actually be able to push me over the edge to actually start winning this matchup. So right here we spot the Lee Sin, and we get a little bit of poke onto him. Because of the fact that I know that Lee Sin is a strong early game jungler, I actually opt in for an early game ward right here. And I hope this will be able to allow me to start early game pushing into LeBlanc. And if I can push into LeBlanc, I can start take favorable trades, which will eventually lead me to crash and wave about wave 3, let the wave bounce back out towards me. And once the wave is bounced back out towards my side, I can actually maybe force one to a bad reset. So LeBlanc did use Ignite. But they got a very creative, very interesting invade off onto my jungler. So LeBlanc has now 1 kill. That's tough, but since she doesn't have Ignite, she definitely loses kill pressure onto me. So I definitely want to be taking these favorable trades. I'm playing really aggressive right here, looking to take good quality trades into LeBlanc. And right here we go for a beautiful Q onto that last hit. I've landed 2 Qs onto her right now, so she's already dropping a little bit in HP. Posturing up very, very aggressively right here. Sadly missed that Q. I should have timed it better with the minion dying, so a little bit of a waste. Here as well, we go for some heavy trades. I got bone plating, so that's completely fine. I don't mind heavy trading like this too much. And I've got my ward to cover. I know Lee Sin starts topside. I sadly missed this QE. This would have been a beautiful opportunity with the level 2 lead that I had. So I missed a few opportunities right here. I'm trading pretty heavily, which is alright for me because I got TP. But what we actually see right now is that my wave kind of gets in a fucked position. We see that Lee Sin is right there. And I know that I'm going to get level 3 gank. It's just a given right here. So I ping for assistance thinking that my Xin Zhao would be able to respond right here. Because usually junglers finish their clear at 230 right now. And I think, okay, if we can get a good quality counter gank going right here, we can maybe get a beautiful lead in the early game. So what actually happens is LeBlanc's still level 2, but she flashes in, flash W's in, and gets me onto the chain. And Lee Sin comes to gank. I try to stun him, because maybe I could have then flashed his Q right here. But he barely lands it. I flash, I die, and Xin Zhao just now comes from clearing his wolves. This is absolutely game over. End of review right here. So what were the variables that I missed that led to this situation happening? So if we go back right here, all the way back here, we actually see that our Xin Zhao turns up late towards the blue. And because Xin Zhao turns up late towards the blue, he's going to finish his clear way later. So because of that, I should have adapted and kept the wave neutral instead of hard pushing it into LeBlanc. The ward on top side is still very good, but because I didn't adapt my game plan depending on what happened to the variables of my jungler, and therefore I could not get a counter gank on time, we actually got into a heavy losing position. Moreover, another thing that I kind of failed to realize is that Lee Sin is undeniably way stronger than Xin Zhao in the early game. Even though Xin Zhao is not weak, Lee Sin is way stronger, and because of that, maybe it wouldn't also be the best play to go for a 2v2 right here in the game, because LeBlanc Lee Sin's 2v2 is unbelievably strong. Maybe if the LeBlanc was actually still level 2, we would have probably won it because we have a level advantage. But I just didn't adapt fast enough into this game. Absolutely end of review in the early lane, because I failed to update my early lane plan, which led to me, it's probably like FF15 this was, because our bot lane also got completely stunned. Absolutely game over. Now let's take a look at an example where it actually does go right. All right, so in this example, I am actually on the Lee Sin's side of the jungle matchup, but I am playing against an Echo. So once again, I recognize, okay, I have the early advantage. I once again take the fast rune setup right here. And in this situation, I know that Xin Zhao can early game gank. It's like not the best early game ganker, but he can definitely do it. So, and because I know I want to preferably be pushing into Echo, get a 3-stack going, I actually make sure that I ward level 1 the Raptors again. So I get this beautiful little ward out right here on 120. And this is going to be giving me enough safety to actually start pushing. So I posture up very aggressively right here. Beautiful posturing, which leads to nice Q auto onto Echo. And I'm slowly chipping away at this HP bar like that. And that's just what I want to be doing in general in the lane. I'm posturing up aggressively right here. I want to be contesting these creeps for him. I know I'm going to be CSing this creep, so I do go for a little Q right here, which is ideally, I could have timed this one better. So I'm getting a little bit sloppy on these Qs. I could have just timed it with any of these last hits right here, and it would be way easier for me to land it, because he practically gets 4 last hits for free right here, which I shouldn't have given him. Wave is in a pretty good position right here. It's pretty neutral. I can now walk up. I go for beautiful auto QE. So this is one of my favorite combos on Zinra actually that I've been basically abusing lately, is I'm walking up and then I'm going for an auto attack into QE. And that's usually not what they're expecting. And it's a lot of burst damage. Beautiful combo. I do sadly drop my bone plating, but it's okay because I get a very nice trade plus a splint attack stack for it in return. And we actually spot the Xin Zhao right there on the Raptor camps. So I'm playing very aggressively into this Echo. And Xin Zhao notices that the wave set is pushing into Echo, notices that mid lane is extremely heavy trading. But in this case, I am actually calling my jungler again. And I know, okay, Lee Sin, pretty fast, pretty strong early game champion. So I'm pretty sure that I can just win this 2v2 right here, especially if I'm getting level 3 right here. So I do get ganked by Xin Zhao. They go onto me. I try to E backwards. So this is a thing. If I sometimes with an E backwards like this, the enemy jungler gets pushed into the tower. So that was my intention right here. He didn't get quite pushed that way. But it did buy me enough safety to get away there. So I flash the combo, Echo flashes in, and my Lee Sin comes to save me, and he's absolutely smurfing it with the plays. I tether nicely the Xin Zhao E, and look at this Lee Sin, by the way. This is some OTP kind of shit. Beautiful flash E to secure the kill into the smite on the minion into the Q. Extremely nasty. And from this point, right, this is practically the same game as last time, but now it's executed properly, and we win the 2v2. And we absolutely snowball this game out of control, FF20 from the enemies, and it's just a complete opposite. So what do we learn from this, right? What do we learn for sure is getting a solid early game plan where we actually think about all the variables is extremely solid and can literally just win or lose you the game in this instance. Moreover, early game Raptor wards, extremely good against these possible early ganking junglers because we can spot them going for a 3-camp gank. And if you can counter the gank, usually it's going to be better because you can anticipate the gank and therefore have more of your spells hit. And the enemies usually have to commit to go for an early game gank like that. And that's why counter ganking is so unbelievably good if we can read the enemy's play. So this was a beautiful play, absolutely game winning, and this eventually snowballed into a win of the game. So I hope you guys learned something about early game plans. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section and I'll definitely get back to you.